Markets rise and fall, seasons come and go, but the one thing that seems to remain the same is the gender wealth gap. The data shows women are more likely to save, less likely to invest than men. So what are we doing to close this growing gap? I think these days we talk a lot about the gender pay gap. That's the amount of salary that a man and a woman would get based on equal years of experience. And that's usually anywhere from 5 to 20% depending on the country. However, there is a much more insidious problem at hand that even if women are starting to make the same amount as men, they in the end will not have as much because they tend to invest less. This is where the gender investing gap and the gender wealth gap really come in. So women are more likely to save, so they're taking that money, they're putting it away, but they're not growing a lot of that wealth. And we see intergenerationally, wealth that is invested properly, that has the right custodian to it, is going to grow, and money that is just saved, just kind of sits there. And so we really need to encourage women to be more active investors in order to help close this wealth gap. I think right now is the perfect time to close the gender investing gap and the gender wealth gap. There's been a massive proliferation of apps like Robinhood, eToro, EXANTE that really help the investors choose what they want to invest in, right? So you can align with the types of interest that you want. For example, you can choose your ESG ETFs, or you can choose to buy stocks of women-owned companies or those with female executives. I think that's one aspect. And there's also a large proliferation of types of things that you can invest in, right? No longer is it just, I have to choose these stocks that are available in my country only. Now you can invest in global markets from the comfort of your home, and you can also start investing in things like cryptocurrency, and all of these you're able to do fractionally, right? So you don't have to invest tens of thousands of dollars to begin with. You can do a couple hundred, a couple thousand, and kind of ease your way into it. Also, one of the big trends that I absolutely love is being able to do more angel investing, and there's a lot of value add in joining syndicates or other types of companies that support startups, and these funds actually allow you to be in the game, working with these companies and supporting those types of causes and interests that you may have that are outside of your normal work remit. On top of that, there's also the more traditional things you can invest in, like real estate or art, but there's so many options these days for women to really start, depending on what their interests or their own motivations are. It's really about getting out there and just trying and dabbling and seeing what works for you, and finding a community that kind of helps support both trials and tribulations and successes from investing, because obviously that feedback loop of what's working, what's not working is very important as well. There's a big trickle-down effect, especially when you think about bigger funds like PE or VC funds. Oftentimes, if a lot of these funds are controlled by men because they're the ones who are more confident with money, or have been able to raise money and have access to this type of wealth, they are not going to then invest more in female-run companies or female-started companies, and so then there's kind of a vicious cycle there. I really think that women doing more with their wealth, investing their wealth, has a much bigger snowballing effect, not just with individual retail investing, but also in the grand scheme of investment and finance in general.